The moment you chase someone for respect, you begin teaching them that they can withhold it. The moment you beg for love, attention, or a simple answer, you place your dignity in another person's hands. And the moment you explain yourself again and again to someone determined to misunderstand you, you enter a conversation you can never win. There is a quieter rule. Do not chase. Do not beg. Do not overexplain. This rule is not about becoming cold. It is not about punishing people with silence or pretending you need no one. It is about recognizing the exact moment when honest effort turns into self-abandonment. Most people do not lose respect in one dramatic event. They surrender it in small pieces. One unanswered message becomes 6 more messages. One refusal becomes a speech about why they should choose you. One unfair accusation becomes an hour spent defending your character to someone who has already decided not to listen. By the end, you are exhausted, and the other person has learned something dangerous. They have learned that if they withdraw, you will pursue. If they disapprove, you will plead. If they question your worth, you will perform until they approve it again. For many winters, I watched visitors arrive carrying this kind of exhaustion. The climb had tired their legs, but it was not the mountain that had emptied them. It was the effort of convincing people to value what had been freely given. They would sit near the small iron stove and ask the same question in different forms. How can I make my child call me? How can I make my partner understand what I have done for them? How can I prove that I am not the person they say I am? The answer was rarely another argument. It was to stop placing their peace before a locked door and knocking until their hands bled. First, do not chase. When someone pulls away, your instinct may be to close the distance immediately. You call again. You send another message. You ask mutual friends what happened. You offer more than you intended because losing the connection feels unbearable. But distance reveals information that chasing conceals. When you stop pursuing, you discover whether the other person ever intended to meet you halfway. This does not mean ignoring someone you love after a disagreement. Mature people initiate repair. They apologize when they're wrong. They ask direct questions. You may say, I value this relationship. I would like to talk when you are ready. Say it once, sincerely. Then leave room for an answer. If you must drag someone toward every conversation, every visit, and every act of affection, you are not maintaining closeness. You are carrying a relationship that has stopped walking. Put it down long enough to see whether it can stand. The person who values you may need time, but they will move toward clarity. The person who only values being pursued will create more distance to make you chase harder. Do not reward that pattern. Second, do not beg. A request has dignity. Begging begins when a clear answer has already been given through words or repeated behavior, but you keep offering pieces of yourself in the hope that the answer will change. Please choose me. Please believe me. Please treat me as though I matter. There are things you should never have to audition for in a healthy relationship. Basic consideration, honesty, safety, the right to speak without humiliation. You can ask for these things. You can explain what you need, but you cannot beg another person into having the character to provide them. Imagine holding a bowl beneath a dry roof and asking it for rain. You can wait all night. You can polish the bowl. You can blame yourself for holding it incorrectly, but the roof cannot give what it does not contain. Sometimes rejection is not proof that you are unworthy. It is evidence that you are asking in the wrong place. This is especially painful when the person is family. You may have spent decades hoping for one expression of approval from a parent, one sincere apology from a sibling, or one sign of gratitude from an adult child. Hope can be beautiful, but when hope requires you to tolerate repeated contempt, it becomes a chain. Say what is true. I want a relationship with you, but not one in which I am insulted. I am willing to help, but I will not be threatened. I love you, but I will not purchase closeness. Then allow their response to reveal their choice. Your dignity does not require them to agree. It requires you to stop bargaining against yourself. Third, do not overexplain. Notice that I did not say, never explain. Clear communication is a form of respect. If your decision affects someone, a simple explanation may be kind and necessary. Over-explaining is different. It begins when you have already communicated clearly, but you continue adding reasons because the other person refuses to accept your answer. You explain why you cannot lend the money. They challenge your reason. You provide another. They challenge that one too. Soon you are presenting the entire history of your finances as if standing before a judge. But the conversation was never about understanding your reasons. It was about wearing down your decision. The more reasons you provide, the more material a controlling person receives to debate. You are allowed to say, I cannot do that. You are allowed to say, that decision is final. You are allowed to say, I have explained what I can. I will not argue about it. A complete sentence does not become incomplete because someone dislikes it. Years ago, a visitor arrived just before evening tea. He carried a letter from a friend who had accused him of being selfish. The visitor had written 7 pages in response. He wanted to know whether the 8th page would finally make his friend understand. I asked him to read the accusation again. It contained no question, no curiosity, no invitation to talk. It was a verdict. So I asked, why are you offering evidence to a court that has already sentenced you? The tea grew cold before he answered. Many explanations are not attempts to communicate. They are attempts to control how another person sees us. That control is impossible. Someone may misunderstand you after you speak with perfect honesty. Someone may call your boundaries selfish. Someone may retell the story with themselves as the victim. Let them carry their version. You are responsible for your conduct, not for managing every opinion formed about it. When that feeling comes, wait. Do not answer immediately. Take one slow breath before responding. Feel your feet on the ground. Let the first wave of urgency pass. Then ask yourself 3 questions. Am I communicating or am I chasing? Am I requesting or am I begging? Am I clarifying or am I trying to force agreement? Those questions can save you years of unnecessary struggle. If you are chasing, step back. If you are begging, return to your standards. If you are overexplaining, reduce your answer to one calm sentence. At first, some people may resist. Anyone who benefited from your lack of boundaries may describe your new limits as cruelty. Listen carefully, but do not surrender immediately. Ask whether you have become unkind or simply less controllable. If you made a mistake, correct it without humiliation. A sincere apology does not reduce your dignity. It demonstrates it. But never apologize merely to end another person's punishment. Respect is not created by domination. It grows where truth and limits can exist together. The people capable of healthy love will not require you to crawl toward them. They will not need your desperation as proof of affection. They will not demand 100 explanations after understanding the first one. They may disagree with you. They may need space. They may tell you an uncomfortable truth, but they will leave your dignity intact. Tonight, think of the person whose approval has cost you the most peace. Do not condemn them. Do not plan a dramatic ending. Simply stop doing the one thing that abandons you. Do not send the extra message. Do not make the desperate offer. Do not write the 8th page. Make one honest effort. State one clear need. Give one sufficient explanation. Then become still. Silence will reveal what pursuit kept hidden. Some will move toward you with respect. Some will disappear when there is nothing left to take. Both answers are valuable. You do not earn respect by convincing everyone of your worth. You teach people how to approach you by what you no longer chase, what you refuse to beg for, and what you stop explaining after the truth has already been spoken. Stand beside that truth quietly. The right people will not require you to abandon yourself in order to keep them.